Welcome to L Said What, and I can't see or tell how my sound is, but I'm getting started just a couple of minutes early. So when we do get started around here, or when I get started around here, it's not unusual to get started a couple of minutes early. And there's so much going on in the country that I thought that I would catch everybody up on who's suing who and why it matters to you. So, in this video, I'll be talking about Berkheimer v. Wings on Brookwood. And I think that I might have to change that in the title, but it is Berkheimer v. versus Wings on Brookwood. So, listen, it's very tempting to laugh when you hear that Michael Berkheimer sued Wings on Brookwood because he ordered boneless wings and he almost choked on a bone. And the case went from the Ohio Supreme Court. Went from the Ohio trial court all the way up to the Ohio Supreme Court. But the man almost died. The man almost died. So let me tell you what happens. And if you hear noise, it's my dog. He has a little nose like a snout nose like a little pig. So you can hear him snoring sometimes, or it's me rustling paper. So Michael Berkheimer, his wife, and a few friends get together. They go out to dinner and they go to Wings on Brookwood in Butler County, Ohio. And according to Berkheimer, he placed his usual order, boneless wings with Parmesan garlic sauce. Now, Berkheimer in his claim states that there was no warning on the menu, there's still not, that boneless wings could contain bones. And Berkheimer said he followed his natural routine of cutting each boneless wing into two or three pieces before eating any of it. And I want to stop right there. Okay, we've got a few things. So, if this is Berkheimer's usual order, then it's reasonable that he would have an expectation to get through this meal with no problems. He's never had a bone show up in his boneless wing order before. So it's his usual order. It's not his first time or his second time, I'm guessing, at this restaurant. But he says that he cut his boneless wing into two or three pieces before he would take a bite of it. I'm a bone in type woman. I'm bone in. Do you all think that's true? Do you all eat boneless wings? Do you think that Michael Berkheimer actually cut that wing up into two or three pieces? I don't know. That might be normal. And of course, Berkheimer states in his claim against Wings on Brookwood that he ate one piece at a time. Berkheimer's claim is a negligence claim. And the one thing that can ruin a negligence claim, to my knowledge, is if the person who claims to be injured, like Michael Berkheimer, was himself negligent. So if he was just stuffing food in his mouth, don't come suing us. So, okay, let's get back to what Berkheimer says happened. Berkheimer testified that after cutting the second boneless wing into three pieces, that he was eating the third piece and, quote, it felt like something went down, a piece of meat went down the wrong pipe, unquote. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Something goes down the wrong windpipe here. And, I'm everything short of the Heimlich maneuver. My life has flashed before my eyes. So Berkheimer says that he went into the bathroom to try to clear his throat. He's trying to get whatever is lodged in his throat out, and he couldn't get it out. So that night when Berkheimer gets home, he gets a fever, a temperature that reaches 105. And at the insistence of his wife, he's rushed to the emergency room because Mrs. Berkheimer is believing that he's got, maybe a piece of bone lodged in his throat. And thank goodness, right, for concerned wives in this case. Definitely a 105-degree temperature. I would not have had to be talked into going to the hospital. So Berkheimer, he's got this fever. He goes to the hospital, and he has a 1 3/8 inch chicken bone in his throat. According to medical records, it tore open the wall of his esophagus. So this is not a small thing. It only gets worse. It only gets worse for Berkheimer. So Berkheimer develops an infection that is severe, according to one of his attorneys, and is centered around his heart and lungs, and it required multiple surgeries, several surgeries, two medically induced comas, 1 week in ICU, and an additional 2 to 3 weeks in the hospital. So this is not a small thing. So Michael Berkheimer, he does what I think a lot of us would do. He decides to sue. He ordered boneless chicken wings, and now he has a hole in his esophagus. He's been in two medically induced comas. He's claiming an injury. So this 5 centimeter long chicken bone is now the object of a lawsuit. So Berkheimer lost at the trial level. He appealed, and the appellate court agreed with the trial court. Berkheimer then went to the Ohio Supreme Court, and the Ohio Supreme Court agreed with the lower courts. They said that, that boneless wings can have bones, and that a reasonable person should have reasonably anticipated and guarded against the bone at issue in this case. I agree with the dissent. I disagree. I do not think that most of us as consumers anticipate that there's going to be any bones in our boneless chicken wings. Do these justices, these four justices, it was a 4-3 decision, do these justices not eat boneless chicken wings? Do they eat boneless wings at all? Because if legally, from my understanding, if a consumer can reasonably anticipate bones in his or her boneless chicken wing, then according to the court, you can guard against that. How do you all think Michael Berkheimer could have guarded against a bone that was a chicken bone that was 5 centimeters long? How do you think that Michael Berkheimer could have guarded against that getting lodged in his throat and tearing open his esophagus? These are severe injuries that Berkheimer suffered. And naturally, you know, I do agree with the dissent that, well, I think this is kind of amusing that the one of the dissenting justices said that we don't have the full facts, being unable to see what the bone looked like. The bone at issue, the 5 centimeter, chicken bone. I guess, if surgeons could have preserved it, it should have been saved for evidence. But I think that the priority at the time was just saving Michael Berkheimer's life. But the quote goes on to say, but boneless wings is a cooking style, is jabberwocky. Is that an Ohio term? I've not ever heard the word jabberwocky. I think it means BS. Well, that's what the Ohio Supreme Court said, that when you're in Ohio and you see boneless chicken wings on the menu, that you should reasonably anticipate that because a bone is not foreign to chicken, a bone is natural to chicken, that you should expect the possibility of bone being in your boneless wings. Like I said, there's still no warning on the menu. So Berkheimer's attorney and Berkheimer's claim also also stated that it wanted the court to bring Ohio in line with the rest of the country, because according to Berkheimer's attorney, we can go pretty much anywhere in the United States and not expect bones in our boneless chicken wings. So listen, Berkheimer did not only sue Wings on Brookwood. Berkheimer also sued Gordon Food Service, who supplied the boneless wings to Wings on Brookwood, and also sued the supplier of those wings to Gordon Food Service. So there you have it. There's a lot going on in the country, and I thought that I would bring a few lawsuits that might affect you, especially if you live in the state of Ohio or you're traveling through and you get a taste for boneless chicken wings. Hi, Cyber Warrior. Thank you for stopping in. But I agree with the dissent. Jabberwocky. Jabberwocky. I've never expected bones in my boneless chicken wings. Like I said, I'm a bone in kind of girl, but I do now. Thanks for putting us on notice, Ohio. So I'll be back, and I've always said that two of the wildest states in the union are Ohio and Florida. And the next lawsuit that I'm going to bring to you is out of Florida. So that's it. Remember, the takeaway is boneless wings can have bones. If you see Michael Berkheimer anywhere, give him a thumbs up, give him a pat on the back, because I personally think he should appeal it. He should appeal it to the Supreme Court. I'll see you all later. Thanks for stopping by. Elle said what? Do me a favor and share this live stream. Hit the like button and leave me a comment. Have you ever thought that your boneless chicken wings may contain bones? And after going through what Michael Berkheimer went through medically, according to his claim, his medical issues are ongoing. Do you think that Michael Berkheimer should be compensated? Because the Ohio Supreme Court's decision prevents this case from even going to trial. Michael Berkheimer, he asked for a jury trial. And according to the state of Ohio, he does not have a claim. So, no judge, no jury at this juncture will hear Berkheimer's claim or about his injury. So, tell me, what do you think? Should a judge or jury, well, he requested a jury trial. Should this case have been heard by a jury? I'll tell you what I think. I think that this case should have been heard by a jury, and I think that uh, that Michael Berkheimer should have reasonably expected what he always got when he went to Wings on Brookwood, which was boneless wings with Parmesan sauce and no issues. Well, according to the Ohio Supreme Court, a food seller is not liable when a customer could reasonably expect and guard against a hazardous substance in food. A customer's reasonable expectation is formed in part by whether the injury as subject in the food is foreign to or natural to the food. So, according to the Ohio State, the Ohio Supreme Court, I'm sorry, a bone inside of a boneless chicken wing is natural, not foreign. So, thank you all for hearing me out. And do me a favor and leave a comment, share the live stream, and I'll see you guys soon.